Hey, what's going on? You are listening and watching today talk about gay sex. How's everyone doing? Welcome, welcome.
Good evening.
To my left here I'm Steve Rodriguez, host of Talk About Gay Sex, the audio podcast that comes out every single Tuesday, and we go down and dirty with our own sexcapades.
With our own sexcapades on the what webpage?
Excuse me?
What webpage?
On every platform.
No. But no.
What he's talking about is that we are a weekly podcast. Come out. We talk about gay sexuality. We do a live one, which you're here today, and we just launched our brand new Patreon page.
Couldn't think of the word.
Yes, exactly. And so it's a membership platform which you can get extra perks. So those of you that know our show will know that with our Patreon page, you'll support our content, but you'll also get extra perks like our
special content,
like our dark and dirty after show, which we're going to go dark and dirty with our special guest Bruce Beckham a little bit later.
Yes, we will.
And yes, exactly.
And he's backstage going, what?
Exactly. We'll bring him up in a minute. I want to let everybody know that our other co-host, Jeremy Ross Lopez, unfortunately is sick today, so he couldn't make it. But
his Botox kicked in too hard. He can't move his mouth. So,
and he's only 20 what?
27. But it's a good time to start the Botox.
Exactly.
No, actually, he got his foot caught in a ceiling fan. So,
exactly.
Think about it.
I want to let you know that I just got back from Africa, and as all my friends are sick of hearing about it, when I travel, I immerse myself so much that I become like obsessed, right?
That's a good word. Yeah. Definitely obsessed.
So if you're listening to the show, you're going to hear a lot about Africa.
More like possessed, but...
But I seriously encourage all of you to go. I went on safari. You can, in Cape Town, there's so many amazing gay bars. I highly, highly recommend a journey to Africa. But tonight is also, we're doing a giveaway. So if you haven't already gotten raffle tickets, please get them, because we are giving away a pair of tickets to next week's MasquerAIDS ball.
Yes.
We're going to be live on all night long at MasquerAIDS Ball. Mm-hmm. It's a benefit for Research Foundation to Cure AIDS. And
yes, the idea is to finally... Okay, HIV's been with us a long time. A lot of people used to die from it. Not so much anymore, but we need to get rid of it. It's like, enough. Let's end HIV.
Here to talk more about Research Foundation to Cure AIDS and MasquerAIDS Ball is Kambiz Shekhtar, the president and founder and PhD scientist.
Thank you.
Hi, Kambiz.
Hi. How are you?
So we had Kambiz on the show this summer, right? Where you talked all about your foundation. And briefly tell us what you did. In school, you developed a cure. What you think?
Well, I guess I guess one of the really important things is in the space of addressing AIDS, we've made so much progress, but the last chapter has not been written. And I think when you get great minds and great people together, so much is possible. And this Halloween, I hope we can capture your imagination about a cure for AIDS. The science is on the horizon, and we need artists and people and gay guys to, jump in. And we're having a party on Halloween that I'd love to talk about too.
Yes. So the reason you can listen to his whole episode. It was really awesome. You'll learn more about the work that the foundation is going to do. But next week, it's MasquerAIDS Ball is the official after party for the New York Village parade, yes?
That's right. We actually have Mondo Guerra and Michael Musto doing a $5,000 best costume prize. The head of the Halloween parade asked for a $5,000 best costume prize because that's like a grant for many artists. And our idea is, it was artists who kicked us to care about AIDS in the first place, to make society care. And we want to welcome artists once again into into jump-starting a cure for AIDS. So we have an after party with a $5,000 best costume prize.
And
$5,000. Amazing.
and the artists are donating their time. So they're donating their time and their talents. So they're not being paid anything.
Including Animatronic from Scissor Sisters. She's going to do Let's Have a Kiki.
Let's
one
have
of my
a kiki,
favorites.
Yes.
We have Joey Arias, Penny Arcade, New York Gay Men's Choir.
Wonderful.
So you
Awesome.
can buy a ticket. You can get, if you want to volunteer, talk to me. Also, if you want to bring friends, buy a group of tickets. We'll have ball butlers and table serve. It's not a sit-down dinner, but we'll have high-top tables and it's a party. So let's have a kiki.
Exactly.
So, and where do they get tickets? If they don't win tickets tonight, where would they get their tickets?
So there's a lot of postcards around with an Eventbrite link. The Eventbrite link is MasquerAIDS Ball, CureAIDS BALL.eventbrite.com, and and you can get tickets there, or come talk to me if you're here.
Exactly, and we'll be live all night next week on the red carpet.
Yes, and for the people who are watching on video, they can go to the website.
Eventbrite.com/right?
And MasquerAIDS.
MasquerAIDS Ball.eventbrite. And but one thing, a lot of these galas are for rich people. We need donors. But this is not one more thing for only rich people. We want anyone who cares about curing AIDS to come, and whatever ticket price you can afford, we'll make it work. Maybe you can volunteer a bit, but we really want to engage everyone into a new fight to cure AIDS.
Or if you are not in the New York area and you want to make a donation, I'm sure you can make a donation as well.
Yes, please.
So yes, please. And do you have a website for your organization as well?
We do. It's the long version is www.researchfoundationtocureaids.org, or more short, www.rftca.org.
All right.
Excellent.
Thank you,
And
you guys.
Any donations are greatly appreciated, and you're going to help the community.
And
Thank you.
So, and let's end it. Enough.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Caboose.
Thank you.
We'll give those tickets away
Thank
later.
you. Awesome.
And we're going to be in costume that night.
We are.
Which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, we don't know what Jeremy's wearing yet.
No, but I'm sure something hot and sexy.
I know what I'm wearing, and you. Well, I do, and you know what you're wearing, I think.
I do.
But we'll let you see.
Exactly. Once again, we are live. If you go on our Facebook page, we're streaming right now live. Hello out there. We want to hear from you. Send us your questions for us, for our special guests. We're on facebook.com/talkaboutgaysex. And one of our guests that we had on our show, DJ Ted Bishop, who is here tonight. Hello, Ted. He spins here sometimes at Rebar. Came out when he was on our show with a new calendar.
Right.
And it is this calendar right here. And it's called Title Holders and Tiaras. And he's in it. It's 2019 calendar. So you all got to get it.
It's a nice desk size, so you can keep it in your cubicle at work.
So for all of you out there to support this amazing, listen to his episode that he was on, you can go to facebook.com/title holders and tiaras. And I can't wait to see your month. What month are you? November.
Mr.
Okay.
November. Or is it Miss November? Oh, Thanksgiving as in stuffing a turkey. Yeah, okay, got it. You'll be the turkey. Okay.
I love it. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Antonio Cedena for his mailroom party. Happens here at Rebar on Saturday, October 27th. Outer Limits Halloween.
This
Don't
coming
miss
Saturday.
that. Absolutely. But I want to do this new thing that, we've been doing the show now for like over a year.
Yes.
And
Yes. Well, we've been doing the live show for over a year.
Right.
Podcast.
And David, if you
We're
can
in
hand me
our
that
third season of the
microphone right
podcast.
there.
So.
And so I want to hear from you because we kind of think we know a thing or two about sex, right?
Well, maybe, yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit, but so we've got some sex advice for you. So I'm going to go in there and ask a couple questions.
Just like Dr. Ruth.
Exactly. And I think I talked to this guy over here who's at the bar. First of all, what's your name and what drink are you getting? I'm going to judge you.
Wait,
I'm the only one left.
What's your name and what's your drink?
Robert and Tito 7.
Okay, I approve. You told me earlier you had a question about sex that you wanted some advice on. What is it?
So, I met someone this weekend and we had sex, and he's diabetic, so it kind of turned into we had sex and didn't complete it. But he also wants to have a threesome with a really hot friend of his. So, I'm debating, do I continue talking to him because I might want the friend as a threesome, but he's okay too, but I'm not sure what to do.
Okay, so
Go for it.
you're into him, yes?
Somewhat,
Okay. Did you sleep with him?
yes.
Oh, so you already got it out of the way, and now it's like you've moved on.
Like
Well,
I said,
but
it
you
was
didn't finish.
halfway.
You
It
said you
didn't
didn't
completely
finish.
finish.
Oh, due to his diabetes.
Was
All right,
it
well, we
due to
feel
the
for that.
diabetes, or did you just didn't finish because it wasn't interesting?
What was that, Steve?
Did you not finish because of his health issues, or because it just
The
wasn't
health
interesting?
issues.
Okay, so I mean, health issues can happen. Yeah, I mean, I would say go for it. You know, especially if he wants to do the threesome. That's what I would do.
And can you see yourself having sex with him again so that you can get to the other guy?
To get to the other
So
guy,
you
yes.
can get to the other guy.
All right, it might be worth it. Just do it.
It's worth a try.
Exactly.
It's worth a try.
And somebody over here had a question. Tell me what's your name?
Hi, my name is Claude.
Claude, where do you
Claude.
live in the city?
I don't live in the city. I live in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay,
Well, that's
nice.
the city. That's part of the city.
All right, what's your question?
Well, my fiance is a trans man, and within the LGBT community in general, most cis men don't find it to be gay to have sex with an actual trans man because they don't see them as actual men. So why is it that most gay men don't see trans men as men because they are men?
Well, do you see him sexually? Well, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. Sex is
You don't want everybody to sleep with your person.
Sex is between you and your partner or partners. If you find them attractive, then that's fine. You know, what other people think about it, they can piss off.
Yeah, they can piss off. Thank you. No, thank you. And we'll come back with more questions in a little bit. But I'm really excited.
Oh, you're back on camera now.
I'm back on camera, yes. Hi, y'all. So we are live, Talk About Gay Sex, on our Facebook page. Hello out there. You're fielding questions over here, David. Cool. Let us know when we have comments. Even if we'll shout out to you.
So if you're on Facebook, you're watching us on Facebook, type in the comments if you have a question for us or if you have something to say. We'd love to hear from people.
All right, so we're really excited today with our very special guest. He is a porn star and OnlyFans sensation. He just won Best Supporting Actor, y'all, in The Slutty Professor. And he won that at the Straight Up Gay Award.
it.
Yep. He's fresh off the heels of that at the Straight Up Gay Awards in Los Angeles. Please welcome Bruce Beckham to our stage.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. All right, so let's just get down to business here. You hosted the red carpet at the Straight Up Gay Awards.
Correct.
The second year in a row?
Correct. Yeah, they asked me to do it the first year. They had the inaugural year in New York City, the last week of Gay Pride, the last week of June during Gay Pride, and then this year they moved it to Los Angeles. They had it at the Avalon Theater. There were probably 500 attendees. It was by far the highest in terms of production value of that type of show that I've seen. They do a
Wonderful.
couple events like that throughout the year. And to my knowledge, it's also the one that really was very inclusive. A lot of those award shows are sponsored by various companies, and it seemed like everyone got behind this one. So a lot of the studios were representative and played a role in it. It's a really big, really fun event. Almost everyone in the industry came out for it.
Nice, nice. So what's it like working the red carpet? I mean, are a lot of these, is it like a big frat like you guys know each other and you're just like, all right, let me just ask this question, or what is it like?
Yeah, I mean, because I work in the industry, I know, a good handful of the guys, but you don't really see each other that often.
closer.
Sorry?
Yeah,
Better?
Better.
You don't really see a lot of the guys in the industry apart from online. You don't really see them in person unless you filmed with them recently. So you look forward to seeing each other at these events. Most people arrived fashionably late, and we were live streaming. We were live streaming the event.
Like we are, yes. I get it. I get
So
it.
the 7 to 7:30 was fairly sparse, and then everyone came at 7:30 and sort of rushed the red carpet. And so we didn't get to interview a lot of people that we would have wanted to. Which if you're ever at an event and you want to be interviewed on the red carpet, show up early.
Go early.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Show up early. We could have talked to people for 15 minutes, and they could have like promoted or thrown out anything they wanted to.
So, given that it's the Straight Up Gay Porn Awards, you were actually nominated and won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
As an actor, he was nominated as an actor, not as best top or best bottom, but as an actor.
And
That's great.
I'm not saying anyone is any more important in that realm, but personally, I was thrilled to win something that sort of showcased another a skill set besides just fucking.
Right.
I mean, porn is there to watch people have sex, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see a big cock in a movie. I want to see a great ass in the movie. I want to see two guys that look like they're having a lot of fun. But there's a lot of that too. And as a performer, some of the fun comes from playing a ridiculous character like the Slutty Professor and just doing something outside of the norm. So that part of it was cool.
Were you the professor?
No, so it was a take on the Nutty Professor. There was
I love the gay titles.
Yeah,
just the
yeah.
ever so slightly different.
And that's a good one, too.
That's a great one. The
Yeah,
Slutty Professor.
A game with friends of mine, we try to think of the most ridiculous movie title that's a porn. The best so far has been Terms of Enrearment.
Love it. Love it.
That's good.
So yeah, Ace Era was a nerdy professor who didn't have any self-confidence, and he mixed up a potion and became a slut. And then in the end, he found out that his prized student that he had a crush on actually liked the nerdier version of him. And then I played a competing professor who was kind of a douche and super arrogant and could fuck any student he wanted to. And I knew that Ace had his eye on the one kid, so I fucked him spitefully and Ace walks in on us. And I did it just to like rub it in his face that I could.
Nice.
So it was an evil role.
Yeah, I mean, it was really outside of my wheelhouse. I've never done anything like that before. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, it
cool.
was I was the villain of the movie, if you
Yeah.
want that.
We should note. Oh, sorry. We should note that this film was directed by Mr. Pam.
Mr. Pam and Shishi LaRue. It was a project that they worked on
wonderful.
together. Yeah.
Cool. Mr. Pam has been quoted as saying it was actually funny that she met you on the red carpet, I guess, last year.
Correct.
And she thought you were very charming, and so to be able to direct you a year later, I guess.
Yeah, it was close to a year later. And again, Pam and I also did the red carpet this year. I'm hoping it parlays into us doing it every year because it was a lot of fun. But yeah, she was great to work for, and she's so prolific in the industry. She called me to be part of this, and I knew it was going to be one of their big tentpole projects for the year, so I jumped at the opportunity for sure.
Nice.
Awesome.
And people should know that Mr. Pam is actually a woman and a leader in the industry. We love her.
Right.
Yeah, she's been in the industry forever, and she's
And
her
Chichi
name is
LaRue
Jen-
as well.
Both of
She's
them,
been around a long time.
Yeah.
And
And they're both fantastic.
Yeah, great stuff from both of them.
Cool. So one thing that's really interesting about you is that you started your porn career in 2004?
Yeah, like 2004, 2005. I had always thought that porn was really sexy, but I'd been in a relationship at the time, and I didn't think it would be fair to a boyfriend to start getting paid to have sex with other people.
That can be a problem. Yeah.
So then when we broke up, I was single. I found myself in LA. A lot of porn was produced there at the time.
Right.
I had a couple friends that were doing it, and I thought, okay, now or never. So yeah, I did some work for Blue Blake, and then eventually started working for Michael Lucas for the term of a contract.
And what's interesting is that you did porn and then left it only to come back to it in 2016?
Yeah, I started doing films again in 2016. I'd been working in my current career, really started getting burnt out on it. And as I was looking around for other work, I coincidentally met two guys, one of whom I had grown up with, had no idea that he was a huge name in porn. And I thought, I'm looking to supplement my income. Pandora's box is already open. I'm already nude on the internet everywhere. And I had I'd been working out a lot, getting revenge body from a breakup, so I thought
Revenge body.
okay,
We can relate.
It seems like breakups have precluded all of my forays into porn. But I thought, this is a good way to supplement my income while I figured out what was next. And then it dawned on me I could do it for a career for a while, and it's been great.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome.
So, again, we are live on our Facebook page. Bring your questions for Bruce, or if any of you guys have questions, let me know. We will get to it.
Yes, we will.
What's it like coming back to porn after, with social media? And because I'm assuming it wasn't around when you were.
Yeah, I'm asked that question all the time. How is the industry different then versus now? And it's absolutely the advent of social media. Studios were behind the promotion in the earlier days, in my first leg of this. And now it's almost, the studios do promote, but as a performer, you have direct interaction with fans. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it's all a way to reach out and get them super interested in projects. I tend to do it a lot. I know there's other performers that tend to do it a lot. But yeah, you get immediate feedback,
It's immediate.
For better or for worse.
Right.
I've had some really positive experiences for the most part on social media. There's a few women around the country who are fans of gay porn, and they're always really sweet and really nice. You'd be surprised. There's a good handful
Really?
of straight women that are fans of gay porn.
Oh, definitely.
And they're some of the
Definitely.
nicest, friendliest, most positive individuals that are interacting.
Nice.
Not
I
to
wanna
say
try
at
that.
all that the gay fans aren't as supportive as well, but there's sort of a I don't know, maybe something maternal kicks in. They're just really nice and caring and like almost protective. It's
Interesting.
really it's sweet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know there are a lot of women who prefer to watch gay porn. There are some straight men who won't admit it that like to watch gay porn with their
Yeah.
I don't blame
girlfriends,
them.
whatever.
Who doesn't like gay porn, right?
Well, gay men know how to have sex, so.
So to answer your previous question, that's the biggest difference. The way porn is produced and how it's marketed and the actual physical product itself has totally changed. We're not selling VHS tapes. We're not selling DVDs anymore.
No, it's all
Content
online.
is online,
Downloads.
subscription based.
Right.
It's now often per scene that you can buy content. You have a lot of amateur content being produced. And I don't say that negatively at all. There's some great amateur
Xtube
stuff
is very
being done.
popular, yeah.
Well, and we should talk about your OnlyFans page, right? Which is probably empowering, I'm sure, because you get to do your own content.
You can control the content. I have to say, producing slick studio porn takes a little bit of time. And to produce content for OnlyFans, almost all the guys that I know in the industry have an OnlyFans page. And so if they're in town, we tend to touch base with each other. Hey, do you want us to shoot some stuff for OnlyFans? We set up a couple cameras, and then we just fuck pretty organically. And
Yeah.
Nice.
It's hot. And I've been surprised at some of the guys that wanted to shoot scenes with me, guys that I've had little crushes on. But yeah, my OnlyFans, I try to keep the subscription rate low. It's onlyfans.com/Bruce Beckham XXX. And as I go into the winter months, it's sort of cyclical for me. I'll produce more content during the winter,
Right.
and then I end up shooting for more studios during the warmer months. So
Now, are you based here or are you based in LA?
I moved back to New York City a year and a half ago. Prior
Okay.
to that, for the past decade, I was in LA.
during the cold months, you have more of an opportunity to
Yeah.
do some indoor work.
Don't we all? Yes.
Yes,
there's,
exactly.
it's cuffing season, so people want to,
Exactly.
cuddle up with somebody.
Yes.
Once again, we are live on our Facebook page, facebook.com/talk about gay sex. And we have a question from Scott who says, so Bruce, have you ever done a movie or a scene now that you regret doing?
I would not use the word regret at all. No, the way these scenes are set up, you know ahead of time who you're going to be working with, what the sexual positions are going to be. I've not worked with anyone who's had a particularly bad reputation. I've heard, guys have shot scenes with someone and then that individual goes on and says something crazy on Twitter. And so they've said, God, if I knew what he was like, I wouldn't have done it. No, I haven't regretted a single scene that I've shot. Most of the guys are all really nice and really professional.
I was reading somewhere that you're like one of the nicest guys on the set. Everybody likes to be around you. You cook. You're a chef too, or you cook and you cook for people, or you
I
clean
went to
up.
culinary school.
Yeah.
When I worked for Titan, their style is they own 5 homes in Palm Springs, these gorgeous mid-century modern homes, and they put the whole cast and crew up in one if not 2 of the homes, and then we all have family dinner every night. And usually the VP of the company would cook, but because I know how to cook and a few other guys did, occasionally they'd take a turn some of the evenings. And
that's
it's like-
great.
it was fun. It was.
That's awesome.
We used to refer to
Did you
it
cook naked?
that. No, there's.
I mean, we had the naked chef on here. Yeah, that would be.
I've seen his stuff, and I always think like, what happens if something splatters and he gets burnt? You know,
You
Right.
just have to be
I
very
wanna
careful that you
protect
don't
what's going on
splatter.
down
I think he
there.
protects that part with like.
Well, he does wear a very tiny little apron.
And I'm notoriously clumsy, so the risk of injury is much.
Oh
much
yeah,
higher
I'd be a
with me.
mess. I'd
Yeah.
be a total hot mess, right?
Fun.
Exactly. You're also friends with somebody that we had on the show, Boomer Banks. He was on our live show.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's one of the guys in the industry that I think really gets that you need to self-promote in order to have a career that has longevity, and that you can use it as a way to parlay it into what the entirety of your interests are. I mean, he has a fashion line. He's always popping up in music videos.
He's got everything going.
He knows the hustle. That kid he's not a kid, he's a grown man.
He knows how to work it.
He knows the hustle more than
He
anyone
knows
else.
how to work it, and he finds the opportunity, and he just takes it. You know, it's great that way.
Yeah, and
he-
personally, I know him, and I've never. He's
a
stayed with
sweetheart.
me before. He's a really great guy.
Yeah,
he's
he's a
very
sweetheart.
sincere.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no facade with him at all. He's very open and honest, and what you see is what you get.
So you have a beautiful dick. So
There's
are
a
you?
Can you see it? No.
You can go on his OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.com
OnlyFans.
/ Bruce Beckham Triple X.
Bruce is also actually, y'all, giving away a month or.
3 months to my OnlyFans subscription.
Yes, so
Ooh,
you can check them out.
okay.
What kinds of stuff can we? Oh, my question was, will you have a mold ever made of it, or do you have a mold of your?
I do not have a mold. Ex-boyfriend got me a mold your own one year for Christmas.
Yeah.
I never used it.
What is it called? A mold?
It's like a little kit that they sell. I
Yeah,
think
a
you
mold
can even
your
buy
own
it at one of the
kit, yeah.
various sex shops in the area. Yeah, it's like a plastic tube, and you get hard, you stick your dick in it, and then you fill it with some compound, let it harden, and then you pour like a pink latex into it.
Right.
The Flesh Jack versions, the ones that they produce for
Right.
consumers, it's much more specific than that. But you get the gist. There's no Flesh Jack of me. I've never made a mold.
No blow up doll.
No blow up dowel.
Because
no, I
the
like
blow up
to-
dolls are not they're not true to form.
No, we want the real thing.
Yeah, but that's always an option. So
Nice. Okay, what kinds of things can people expect to see on your OnlyFans? Solo, with partners?
I try to keep it all to things that I would organically want to do in person. So there's a bunch of stuff of me like jerking off in the like bathroom stall at the gym. That's totally a fantasy
I
of
love
mine.
those videos.
Like the idea of so one of the hottest things to me is that you're at a urinal, and then some guy starts playing you the show you his dick game, which actually happened to me at my gym here. I won't say which one. I didn't want to get kicked out of there. And then he,
Everyone probably knows which
He
one.
gave me the
so-
wink and the nudge, and we went into the stall, and then I realized like other people were coming in, and then I got nervous. But there's a lot of like me playing with my dick in the bathroom stall. I've done stuff with Austin Wilde. I've done stuff with Ian Green. I've done stuff with Jay Alexander. I've sucked a few strangers' dicks that are off camera. It's just a sort of random dick in front of me.
Oh, it was you. Okay, got it.
Oh,
got
wait a minute. But
Now I know.
Oh, that was you.
Exactly. Bring your questions again on Facebook.com / talk about gay sex. Anybody in here have a question for our. Do you have a question? You were. Not yet. Okay, let me know. You're
and
tweeting
you
in.
can ask me anything. There's like a 99% chance I'll answer it.
99% chance he'll answer. You can ask him anything.
Exactly. So, what more questions about what was this? So, what's the pressure to keep like in the game kind of thing? Like,
I mean, personally, I always want to feel a certain way inside of my body, but I also think it's important to have balance. Like I went to Europe a month ago, and I ate whatever I wanted to for the week I was there. But yeah, I mean, the camera is not super forgiving. On the flip side, and I hate to use this as something to lean into, but as I get older, that whole like, I was nominated for 2 awards this year. The other one was Best Daddy. I'd never consider
Best
myself.
Daddy.
Yeah, I'd never consider myself to be the daddy type either. But I mean, if you look at some of the guys that are doing adult film right now, it could be argued. So
it's shifting younger is what we're seeing. Okay.
So like, you know, as I grow into that demographic, you know, I mean, I could have a different body aesthetic. I just want to. What I'm learning the more I'm in this industry is the truer that I am to myself, the more organic and believable every performance comes across. You know, like, I mean, it's a silly example, but a studio liked me to have my hair short all the time. I prefer to have my hair a little bit longer. So the longer I do this, I think, all right, I'm going to wear my hair a little longer. And if they want to book me, great. And if they don't, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Would this be too long? Or-
Listen, I feel like I've got enough hair I could probably...
yeah.
So, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's 2019's look. I don't know.
Exactly.
So we talked a little bit earlier before the show. You were talking a little bit about the I think it was the Adonis effect. Was it called?
Yeah, so there's a documentary called The Adonis Effect, and it basically, it was shot in Los Angeles a few years ago. It's really short. If you've never seen it, I recommend it. It specifically talks about young gay men who are told as they're raised that who they are is wrong, and then they move to a metropolitan area where being a young, good-looking gay guy is celebrated, and that is their value, that is their currency, that's what they have to offer. So that becomes their identity, which is fine for a young kid. Anything that can get a young gay kid to believe, oh no, I have worth, I'm not a piece of shit, I'm not wrong, is great. But hopefully, as you age, you develop some more self-awareness, a better idea of who you are.
Develop different roots of things.
Yeah, your self-worth becomes dependent on a lot of things, and not just people want to fuck me. And some of the guys in the documentary leaned too hard into I'm attractive, therefore I'm valuable. And as they aged, they no longer presented a certain way, and so they weren't responded to a certain way. Some figured out how to self-identify so that they knew who they were, and it didn't matter if somebody wanted to fuck them or not. They still loved themselves, and a few unfortunately did not, and it was sort of sad.
They never make that transition into past the physical beauty. And
I mean, I think
That's interesting.
I mean, I'll admit it. I have some stuff about the way that I look that are genetic, and I have some stuff about the way that I look that are the results of work and diet and sacrifice. And attraction is powerful. If you see 2 people on the street, and one not so looking person asks you for $1, but then you see some guy you think is hot and he asks you for $1, you might be more inclined to give that guy the $1.
Oh no, that's
Psychology 101 is that attraction is a powerful tool.
Psychology and physicality as well.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that doors weren't open for me because people thought that I looked a certain way that they liked, but that won't always be the case. You know, one of the reasons I try to compose myself as not an asshole is because I think it's important to... Who you are is just as important as how you look, if not way more important, you know?
Right.
And I'd rather have people remember me as, okay, maybe I don't have 3% body fat, but was nice, I said hello, I looked you in the eye, asked you how your day was, I said goodbye. If you were in a room with a group of people, I didn't look past you to the guy that I thought was hot, but I said hello to you too. All this stuff is important, you know?
Absolutely.
It's recognizing the dignity in everyone, regardless of whether you want to sleep with them or not.
Yeah.
Nice. Again, we're live again. Hello, Frank out there. George, let me just get to the question. Ronnie Christopher, hello. You know Ronnie Christopher. We're at Rebar, Ronnie. And I think he used to live here. Let's see. Okay, here's a question from Jonathan. It says, how or when do you separate your personal life from your business life when being consistently intimate with others? Good question.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't proactively seek out dating while I'm doing what I do now. When I started in the industry again in 2016, I had this idea that I either wouldn't date or that I might exclusively date other people in the industry because at least they would have an understanding of what we do, why we do it, and what it really means to us in terms of an intimate level.
You don't have that instant jealousy that can happen.
I mean, or maybe they're fine with it at first, but then as they really start processing it, it becomes uncomfortable to them. I have dated in the past couple years. My experience has been that it's a difficult thing for people to wrap their heads around, you know?
Right.
I did have a sort of mentor figure that I talked to when I first was thinking about getting back in the industry again. And he said, you know, ultimately, Bruce, someone that's the right fit for you isn't going to have a huge moral crisis over the fact that you either do this or have done it.
Exactly.
Just personality-wise. It doesn't mean that their moral code would be more similar, you know? Personally, like there's certain things that I won't do unless I'm with a partner or getting paid to do it in a scene.
Right.
Like bottoming, for example, you know? I like it, I enjoy it, but since what I do for work involves intimacy and physicality, I don't tend to hook up a lot, and if I do, I don't do that. Because at least it's nice to have something that you save for someone that is special.
Right.
So you won't bottom on camera, is what you're saying?
No, I do bottom
you
on
do
camera.
bottom on camera.
No, but I'm saying just like, I don't hook up a lot. You know, I have a friend who, he's younger, he does hook up a lot, but he won't hold hands with anyone. And he saves holding hands for his boyfriend.
The
He's
truly
only-
intimate
Yeah,
people. And,
which
it's
I'd
true,
I'd never thought of choosing that specifically.
Interesting.
But so that sort of rule of thumb, it may not be holding hands, but there are things that I like to reserve that are only done in those instances.
I think I read somewhere that before you got into porn, you had a big crush on Matthew Rush, the porn star, and then you got to meet him, and you did date.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first foray into porn. I used to live in New York prior to as well. I worked at Food Bar across the street. Matthew Rush came into Food Bar once, and I lost my mind. And my coworkers were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You guys, that's Matthew Rush." And they were like, "Yeah, huh?"
Yeah, who?
I was like, completely fangirling out over this guy. And then maybe 2 years later, I was in the industry, bartending in LA. He came to my bar. I jokingly said, "Oh, I have a crush on you." He said, "Oh, I have a crush on you." I thought he was kidding. And then he asked me out, and we dated for like a month.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
nice guy. Like at the height of his career at the time.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
I love it. Do we have any questions here? I have one question over here. Hold on.
And he leaves us on stage.
Oh,
by our-
hello, DJ Ted Bishop. We love your calendar, so we'll get it. What's your question?
My question is, as a porn actor, is there any kind of porn, any sort of fetish that you have really wanted to play out in porn that you haven't yet?
It's an hour show.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm thinking that's a no because he's not finding anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that I've wanted to do that I haven't done. There are guys that I've wanted to work with. Some of them I have. Some of them we've already had the conversation about. Let's try to make this happen. I won't say who because there's probably some stuff happening in 2019. People that I'm going to work for that I wanted to.
And it's always something you can put on your OnlyFans page as well.
Right. In terms of specific fetish, I'd love to do that bathroom thing I just talked about with somebody and fucking a bathroom stall. Like that whole pick up a stranger in the gym locker room. You might get caught, you might not. Like that's super hot to me. They tend to always make me a policeman in scenes. I've done like 5 scenes as a policeman. I keep getting that one, which isn't really my thing. Like, my uncle was a police officer, and for me, I just think of my uncle every time I'm doing it.
That doesn't work.
Which is not great.
That doesn't work.
But I'd love to do that like gym locker room thing for sure.
Love it.
Somebody else.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thank you, DJ Ted Bishop. Get his calendar. What's your name? And where do you live?
Manauri, Jersey City.
Love it. Shout out to Jersey City. What's your question for Bruce?
How do you feel about chem sex in the industry?
I didn't hear the question.
How do you feel about chem sex in the industry?
What kind of sex?
Chem sex.
Chem sex.
Yeah.
Like sex on crystal meth?
Yeah, maybe you should. Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Bruce?
So I don't even like the term chem friendly or chem sex. My opinion, it's just my opinion, that there's a lot of toxic behaviors around prolific drug use that are sort of ignored in some current environments. To me, it's a very the emperor has no clothes sort of
Yeah.
idea
That's a
that
good
like there's a
terminology for
lot
that.
of people doing a lot of drugs, and they've one of my best friends in Los Angeles likes to do a lot of drugs, and he just talks now about the regularity at which he will slightly overdose, and they all take turns overdosing and taking care of each other. So when you use terms, in my opinion, like chemsex or chem-friendly, it's sort of or even partying, do you party? It paints like you're playing word games to describe something that you would never speak of in a more truthful context. Like, do you use crystal methamphetamine for days on end and perhaps make choices that you might not normally make in a rational mind? So I have a strong opinion about it. I don't think it's good for your spirit to behave that way.
Since you're sober too, yes?
Yeah, I'm sober. I don't drink or do drugs, so obviously that's influencing my opinion. I've never done crystal meth. I never had a problem with it. It's something that I look at, and I'm saddened by it because I know, and I've lost friends who decided that doing crystal meth was more important than being friends with me.
It can definitely.
I think we all have. We've all known people who have just kind of sunk into that.
Yeah, there was a
into that
point
hole
with a
and-
friend in particular where he didn't even want to hear the suggestion that it might not be the best option.
Right.
And it's the symptom of a bigger problem. I'm not in the mental health field. I'm not an addiction specialist. I don't want to come across like I have the answer to all of it. But my observation has been that a lot of the people that I've personally known who engaged in that sort of behavior were really unhappy about stuff that they personally told me, and this was just the way that they felt better.
It doesn't end well. No. We have a really good, for the person that asked the question, a really good episode on chemsex and an author that wrote about his decline a year, but he's turned it around and it's really good. So listen to that. Yes. Did you have any more questions for our dear guest?
Just real
As we
quick.
work-
So as the industry tends to be more bareback. What are your thoughts?
It's interesting. When the first go around, when I was doing porn before, no one would do bareback,
No.
and they were on record as saying our studio will never do bareback. With the advent of PrEP, obviously the risk of HIV transmission has significantly, but not totally, lessened.
Not totally, but significantly lessened. Yes.
There's not that specter, so condoms aren't being used as much, and to many people, condoms represent a period of time that was fearful, where a condom was just that thing that protected you from dying. So, I know Boomer has, we were speaking about him before, he has a line of scenes that he produces, and he refers to it as condomless versus bareback or raw, just to sort of give it a more innocuous tone. I think it's great that something like PrEP exists. I saw the second go of Angels in America, which dealt specifically with the AIDS crisis in the 80s and the Reagan era ignoring it, and seeing that play for the first time recently, it didn't have as much gravitas because we know that there's PrEP and we know that there's, there's I can't think of the right term, but drugs that people who are HIV positive are living longer, healthier lives
You're
on.
not necessarily going to die.
It's not necessarily that simple.
But good to know our history, though, right?
Yeah, and I celebrate the idea that a lot of guys can have sex without condoms, and their risk of HIV transmission has kept a whole generation of gay brothers alive because one was definitively wiped out.
Yes. And I am from that era where I did lose a lot of friends.
If that's your
very
bag
different.
and that's hot to you, fucking celebrate that, because it's another way of saying I can express my sexuality and I don't have to worry about dying.
Bruce, we have another question over here. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is George. I'm from New York. And just as looping back into the chemsex, do you consider poppers drugs?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. No, I mean,
Good question.
I mean, do they affect your? No more than I consider caffeine or cigarettes drugs.
Okay.
We had another.
But again, I'm not the definitive answer on what is or what is not a drug.
No, these are your opinions. We understand. These are your opinions.
Were you Carpenter on the show where we did popper training? That a whole.
I was
episode
not on that show. No.
Check out our audio show.
But I know lots of friends who
Hi.
enjoyed that show.
We have another question over here. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Chris. I'm from California originally. My question is, what advice would you give to someone who is wanting to get into the porn industry? And what sort of things would you give them that you would have wanted to hear when you were first starting?
Are you trying to come?
Not for me. Not for me, but just...
Yeah. Okay, so it's sort of a two-part question. I get asked that question a lot. How do I get into the porn industry? And the first question I always ask is, why do you want to get into the porn industry? Because sometimes those answers in and of themselves reveal that it's not something they should do. I know guys that say, I want to get into the industry because I want to be famous. Well, it's a very high probability that doing some porn isn't going to make you famous. And in this, this era of being insta-famous,
Best supporting actor here.
well, I mean, I'm an anomaly, and it's not because I'm so much better, so much greater. I just have had longevity in this, and I have a particular skill set that translates well. I have friends that kind of joke about it, some of my best friends, and I say, you could never do this, just because it's not part of who they are. I mean, the first reason is, why do you want to do porn? If it's because you want to be famous, that's not the right answer. If it's because you think you're going to make a lot of money, that's not the right answer. I did have a kid explain that he's really just, sex is important to him as a communication means. He gets off on other people watching him. There are areas of his sexuality he wants to explore, and he really wants to do it on camera. For him, I'd say great, In that case, find studios that have models that look like you and write them and say, I'm interested in being a model. Almost all studios have an online application.
Oh, yeah.
Go fill it out, send them pictures of you. But again, I recommend go to the studios that have models that look like you. I kind of think anybody can do porn. You just have to know.
Wow, there's hope.
And literally anyone can do porn. You just have to know what your niche is.
But is there a shelf life?
There's a shelf life for me. There's a shelf life for everybody. Yeah, I mean, or not. I mean, who knows,
What would you tell your former, since you were in porn, you left porn, you came back to porn?
You don't have a picture of me as a small child to hold up and say, what would you
What would
tell?
you
What would you
Actually,
tell
now
Bruce?
that you mention it, no.
When you're looking at
Can you
those
fucking
VHS,
imagine if you did?
Were they VHS back then, or did they move on to
They
DVD?
they were black and white.
Black and white?
They were cave,
Silent
cave
film
drawings.
Silent film. Got it.
Cave drawing.
I didn't even leap into it then. The first time I did it, I had a friend literally say to me, if you do this, know that at some point a blow up of your asshole will be on a centerfold somewhere of a magazine, because they were doing magazines then. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. And then I thought that wouldn't bother me.
What?
And the first scene that I did, I was very comfortable on set. I wasn't self-conscious about being naked. When it came out, I didn't. But I never wanted to be a school teacher. I never wanted to be a politician. I never envisioned a career. And again, that's changing too. Stormy Daniels is influencing a whole mindset. It used to be when I first started, oh, that guy's a porn star. In the same way that people used to say, oh, that guy's a drag queen. And now drag queens are being celebrated because of Drag Race. And porn stars are more mainstream because everybody has a webcam at home. And
Exactly,
guys
yeah.
in the middle of Texas that don't have two dimes to rub together are now making a lot of money.
Being a
jacking
drag
off.
queen or a porn star is not a taboo issue anymore.
Correct.
Just as being gay is not taboo anymore.
Less so,
Well,
depending on
maybe
your
in the square
environment.
states, but
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, so if it's something that is part of you expressing who you are, and you've got something viable to make a buck off, why not?
Right. Just do it on your phone first, test it out, see how you. Right.
Or realize that
mean-
you may have already done porn, because everybody gets shit leaked.
Right.
Yes, you probably already have porn on your phone of you. Most people.
We are winding down. Again, we are live, Facebook.com/talk about gay sex. We'll take two more questions if anybody has them. David, are we good over here? Okay, good. Anybody else have questions? Let me know. But how can people follow you?
So Instagram is Bruce Elanius, and and there's always a link to it on my Twitter, which is Bruce Beckham XXX. That's the best way to track me down and find out what I'm up to. But also my OnlyFans, if you want to see me jerking off. I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, it's OnlyFans.com.
If you really want to see Bruce.
/ Bruce Beckham XXX. And there's a link to it on my Twitter page as well.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Congratulations on the award. Follow him.
And thank you, Rebar,
Yeah, thank you,
Rebar and
Rebar.
Chelsea, for hosting us. They've got the nicest dressing rooms here.
Do they?
Yeah, there's 3 of them in the back. Each one
Do you
has
wanna
its
go
own
check 'em out?
toilet.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
We
We're
will.
going to take a break.
Yeah. Bruce, thank you so much for doing the show.
Thank you.
Follow
Thank you.
him. You can follow our show, Talk About Gay Sex, on all podcast platforms. Also, they should go to our...
Go to our Patreon page. Patreon page, you will get some additional content that you do not see anywhere else.
Thank you, and thank you, David, my producer on my left over there. In the meantime, Jeremy, we miss you. We'll be on the red carpet, or doing a
Wednesday.
live feed
Yep.
next Wednesday for Halloween, MasquerAIDS Ball. Be sure, we're going to link up to that, so be sure and go to that. And in the meantime,
And
continue.
our first guest.
And thank you, Kembis. Yep.
Thank you.
In the meantime, continue having hot,
Hot
gay
gay
sex.
sex.
Thank you.